Episode 13, Starlight Hill. The following morning, Mr. Luong was arranging tables and chairs in the quiet dining room when Finn and Tuak came through the door. "Dad, I'm back." Hey. Tuak bowed his head in greeting. Mr. Luong replied with a certain restraint. "Back already? How was the trip?" Tuak said, "Smooth enough, thanks to Finn. The grave is still there, but overgrown. Tall grass and wild shrubs covering everything. I still remembered the location clearly. 2 years with no one attended. It hurts." Finn poured a cup of water and drank. "It's not like my brother shows that. He was lost to himself all that time. He didn't even know who he was, let alone his parents' graves. We cleaned it all up yesterday. Consider it a way of making amends. Oh, is there still no selling today? I was hoping to grab something to eat. We've been walking since early morning, and I'm starving." Tuak looked around. "Where's Master Luong, Uncle Mong?" "Probably still resting. I haven't called him yet." Finn sniffed the air. "There's something good in here. Char siu dumplings. Grilled meat. Is there or isn't there, Dad?" Mr. Monk pointed toward the kitchen. "In there. That nose of yours could track a kitchen through a stone wall. Go wash your faces, both of you, and eat. Check if Master Luong is awake and call him out too. I'm still in the middle of something." Finn led the way into the kitchen and stopped. 2 bowls and 2 plates were stacked in the washing basin. 1 plate was still greased from grilled meat. He counted the remaining dumplings in the steamer. 4. He poked his head back out. "Dad, have you and Master Luong already eaten?" Mr. Mung, mid-task and not thinking. "I told you Master Luong hasn't eaten. Go wake him up. But there are 2 bowls and 2 plates in the basin. Someone already ate. The bowls are the kind for rice porridge, and the plate still has grease on it." Mr. Moon straightened up. He had completely forgotten about Miss Hong and Hien's dishes. In his head, he was already calculating furiously. His son had just proven, at the worst possible moment, to have the instincts of an investigator. He tried. "Oh, I forgot. I ate earlier. Didn't have time to wash the bowl." The silence. "Dad, you never forget after eating. Why would you eat 2 bowls alone? You've never left breakfast unfinished. And today, you made enough for 4 people. But there are still 4 dumplings in the steamer. The math doesn't add up." Mr. Moong's palms were sweating. He could feel his own face beginning to give him away. He switched tactics. "I ate 2 bowls. Am I not allowed? And the dumplings, I hadn't gotten to them yet. Eat your food. Stop asking questions." The angrier he became, the more suspicious Finn became. But Finn went quiet. Mr. Moong breathed. He thought the interrogation was over. A crash from inside the house. Something ceramic breaking. Finn set down his porridge. "Did you hear that?" Tuak nodded. Finn moved toward the sound, toward the innermost room, the old bedroom. Mr. Moong ran after him, but Finn was faster. Standing before the bedroom door, Finn reached for the handle. "What are you doing?" Mr. Moong shouted. "I heard something fall in here." "Why are you shouting?" 2 bowls in the basin. His father's panicked expression. Finn pieced it together quickly but said nothing. He pushed the door. It held, locked from inside. He turned to look at his father. "Dad, are you hiding something from me?" Before Mr. Moon could answer, the door opened inward, slowly, and from within came Miss Hong's voice. "Please, I'm sorry. Hello, Mr. Finn. It's me." Fan stared. The woman standing in the doorway was the fortune teller, the same person he had visited just over a week ago to ask about exorcism. He looked at her, then at his father, then back at her. Why are you in my house? In my parents' bedroom? Dad, when I was away, did you and this woman... Oh, Mother. Tuok's expression was one of genuine surprise, and under the circumstances, Mr. Hmong had absolutely nothing credible to say. Fortunately, Master Luong appeared. His calm, unhurried voice cut through the room. Mr. Fen, things are not what you're imagining. Calm down. I'll explain clearly, because it was I who asked your father to let this woman stay for a few days. Once everyone was sitting down, Master Luong explained. He said nothing about Finn having been bewitched, and nothing about Hein's curse or its origin. He said only that the girl suffered from a rare illness, and that in order to treat her more conveniently, he had asked Mr. Mung to let Ms. Hong and her daughter stay in the house for a short time. It was enough. Fan shook his head and sighed. That's it? Why didn't you just say that? Why all the hiding? He looked across at Ms. Hong. Oh, but you have a daughter. I've been to your house and never saw her. Ms. Hong replied carefully. She's been ill. She stays in the room. You wouldn't have been able to see her. Fan relaxed. No trouble at all. Sorry for raising my voice just now. If my father and Master Luong want to help you, then I'm glad of it. Now, I'm going to wash up and sleep a while. Brother Tuok, come on. He told Tuok to go ahead first. Mr. Hmong looked at Master Luong and quietly exhaled. Fan's questions had been answered. Miss Hong asked permission to return to the room. Before she did, her eyes settled on Master Luong with a waiting look, something she wanted to ask but did not say. After she had gone, Tuok leaned close to Master Luong. Now that visiting the graves is done, I've been thinking all night about something. If it's possible, then I'd like to. Before he could finish, Master Luong stopped him with a look. At that moment, Mr. Hmong turned from across the room. Uncle Luong, yesterday you said you'd have your answer today. So, Master Luong smiled. Don't worry, if I've ever committed to saving someone, I saved them fully. I'll be staying here for another year. Mr. Hmong bowed his head in relief and gratitude and practically ran from the room to tell Miss Hong. Tuok waited for the sound of his footsteps to fade. You're really planning to stay a full year? What about the necklace? The soul you told me about? The promise you made? Master Luong sighed. I did not expect this complication either, but I won't pretend I have a choice. That woman's daughter has at most a year to live. There's no known cure, only a way to slow what is coming. If I leave now, she is in danger. The choice between saving a living person and honoring a dead person's unfinished wish. If I ignore the living one standing right in front of me, I would not be able to look at either of them clearly in the end. Besides, what I told you about the necklace is not yet certain. The road to get there is the road of death. Before rushing toward it, spending a year trying to preserve a life is still the right choice. He paused. What were you going to say earlier? Tuok shook his head. Nothing. You've made your decision. I'll wait until you're finished here. Tuok stood and walked away. Master Luong partly understood what he had stopped himself from saying. The living first. The dead could wait a little longer. He exhaled and returned to the firewood room. The afternoon While Finn and Mr. Moon were going about their work, Finn noticed someone watching him from around the corner of the wall, watching him not for the first time that day. This time, he caught them. He walked quickly around the wall, cutting off the escape. "Why do you keep watching me?" The one peeking was Hien, Miss Hong's daughter. She turned her back instantly, face averted. "No, I wasn't looking at anything. Finn touched her shoulder and turned her around. "Are you Miss Hong's daughter?" The moment Hien's face came into view, Finn's hand dropped from her shoulder entirely. He went still. She was, there was no other word for it, beautiful. An innocent face, cheeks pink with embarrassment, eyes wide and bright. For a moment, Finn was speechless, his own face turning red. And I'm sorry." Hien ducked her head. "No, it's my fault." And then she ran back into the room. Finn stood watching after her. There was something curious in his chest, a sense of recognition without a source. She was the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen, and yet looking at her felt, somehow, like looking at something familiar. He went back to scrubbing the pots. His hand moved, but his mind was somewhere else entirely. Mr. Moon came through and stopped. "What are you doing? You've been rubbing that same pan for 10 minutes and it's still black. What happened to you?" Finn looked down at the pan. "I was just thinking, Dad, I just met Miss Hong's daughter. There's something strange about it." Mr. Moon looked alarmed. "Strange? What kind of strange? I can't explain it. I feel like I've met her before, but I can't remember where." Mr. Moon said, "That's ridiculous. Get back to work. And don't go flirting with someone else's daughter. Do you hear me?" Finn agreed. That evening, as the household grew comfortable with one another, Miss Hong no longer stayed hidden in the room. She came out and helped Mr. Moon cook dinner. And once the meal was ready, she arranged the dishes and sat with everyone at the table. Hien still did not come out. Miss Hong said she wasn't feeling well. Master Luong and Mr. Moon both understood without pressing. Finn ate quickly and went to his room. He had spent the whole afternoon thinking about Hien, and all through dinner had been watching the door, hoping she'd appear. She hadn't, and the small disappointment sat in his chest like a stone. Lying on his bed, he turned the strange, familiar feeling over and over. The way you worry a knot with your fingers and still could not find where it came from. Outside, Mr. Moon laughed loudly at something, the way he always did when the evening was going well. And then, from somewhere, the room where Miss Hong and Hien were staying, came the sound of water. Finn went still. The sound of water being poured, water scooped and poured again, came from the washroom behind the room. He knew the layout of his own house. He knew who was using it. He swallowed. She was bathing. Two voices were arguing inside Finn's head. One was pushing him toward the washroom. The other was trying to be the better part of him. The better part lost. He knew the house thoroughly, every path through it, every corner. While everyone was still at the table, he slipped out through the front and made his way around. The sound of water grew louder as he approached. Behind the draped cloth, a silhouette moved in the lamplight. A girl bathing, singing softly to herself, completely unaware. Finn crouched by the edge of the pool wall, transfixed. There was no word that didn't feel inadequate. Smooth skin, graceful and unhurried, singing as she poured cool water over herself. sometimes pausing to smile at her own song. Finn wanted to see more clearly. He moved along the pool wall, and his foot came down on a dry piece of firewood. Crack. The singing stopped. Hyen's eyes swept toward the shadow. She couldn't see his face clearly in the dim light, only that there was a figure, and that it had ducked back behind the wall. Finn pressed himself against the stone, legs shaking, heart hammering, sweat already cold on his neck. If he ran, she would scream and his life would be over. If he stayed, he would have to explain himself, and his life would also be over. He was trying to decide between two kinds of disaster when he remembered she hadn't screamed yet. He peeked over the wall, one last terrible moment of self-betrayal. And that was the moment Hyen dressed and looked straight at him. Mr. Finn, isn't it? She hadn't seen his face before. She couldn't have confirmed it from a shadow, yet she sounded certain. Finn stepped out from hiding. He went to his knees immediately. "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please don't tell anyone. I'm so sorry." He was still bowing, eyes on the ground, when he felt a small hand close around his arm and draw him up. Hyen helped him to his feet. She put one finger gently to her lips. "Don't speak so loudly. Everyone will hear. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Because this afternoon, I also peeked at you." Finn stared at her. She was dressed now but had not fully dried off, and the thin fabric clung to her, and he was doing his very best not to think about that. He stammered, You're really going to forgive me? Really not tell anyone?" Hyen shyly nodded. "Then, I won't say anything, but you have to promise me one thing." Finn thought, of course it can't be free, but blackmail is still better than being known as a pervert. "Anything. Just please don't tell anyone about tonight. I heard there's a place near here called Starlight Hill. Will you take me there?" Finn blinked. "How do you know about that? Is that really all you want?" Hyen looked up at him with eyes that sparkled even in the dark and gave a small, shy smile. Finn's heart did something inconvenient. He said, "All right, I promise, but Starlight Hill is best seen at night. Can you go after dark?" Hyen nodded vigorously. "Yes, I can. I'll definitely go." Finn smiled. "Then I'll take you tomorrow night. Promise you'll say nothing about tonight." Hyen reached out and hooked her little finger around his. They looked at each other in the dark, both of them blushing, both pretending they weren't. Then Finn went back to his room and spent the rest of the evening barely able to keep from grinning. Mr. Moon scolded him twice and got nothing useful back. Mr. Moon clicked his tongue and gave up. Lying on his side, facing the wall, Mr. Moon gently smiled to himself. "When I was washing the dishes tonight," her hand and mine touched for just a moment. I wonder what she was thinking. Deep in the night, in the Mist village, Mochok's residence. "Have you brought everything?" Oh. 4 newborn babies, each wrapped in white cloth, lay on the blood-red table and cried into the darkness. Their thin voices filled the empty night. Mochok moved toward them, leaning on a black staff topped with a dry human skull, white and smooth and milky, the bone old. He bent over the table and ran his long nailed fingers across each tiny body in turn, lifting them, turning them over. His touch was clinical. No. The 4 guards standing nearby were drenched in cold sweat. Mochok returned to his seat and fixed them with his gaze. His grin spread across his face like something split open. Hehehe. 2 years. Every method tried, and still it has not appeared. Hehehe. The guards prostrated themselves. One of them asked, his voice small, "Would you permit us to ask the gods for more specific instructions? We swear we will find what is required." Mochak waved a hand. "No need. Take these children away. They're not what I am looking for." He dismissed them. The guards stood, each one lifting a baby, and filed out in silence. Mo Chuk sat alone. Then he rose and pressed the tip of his staff into a small hollow in the floor and rotated it. The floor beneath the chair trembled and shifted. A secret passage opened in the earth behind it. Stairs descending into darkness. Torches along the underground passage caught as Mo Chok descended, as though they recognized him. He came to a door of stone, pressed his hand into a cavity in the wall, and turned. The stone door swung open. Inside was a secret room, lit by torch. Tools of the craft lined the walls, sealed jars and pots, bookshelves holding volumes in many languages, old and new, some crumbling at the spine, some new, a compass, a watch, and in the center of the room, a small wooden crib. A girl, perhaps 2 years old, stood inside it with her hands gripping the crib rails, watching Mo Chok with wide, dark, fearless eyes. She wore nothing. Mo Chok opened the crib door and lifted her, turning her until her back faced him. He tilted her small body toward the torchlight. On the center of her back, black against her pale skin, was a birthmark in the shape of a devil's face. Mo Chok's laughter rose slowly, filling the underground room. "My daughter, only you are exactly what the gods demanded. No child is like you. You are carrying the demon mark." Another door in the wall slid open, a passage beyond it sinking into pure blackness. Mo Chok carried the baby into the dark, and the passage closed behind him, and all that remained in that underground room was the echo of his voice fading away. He, Amanaka. The next evening arrived. According to Master Luong's timeline, Ms. Hong and Haiyin would remain at Mr. Mung's house for approximately 3 days to allow for monitoring. They left 1 day before their return home. After the meal was cleared away, Tuok went back to the firewood room with his own quiet thoughts. Mr. Mung and Fan were in the kitchen doing inventory, checking spices, checking salt, preparing to reopen the restaurant in a day or two. Master Luong sat with Ms. Hong and asked after Hiyin's condition. Ms. Hong said, "She's been well. These last 2 days I've seen her smiling to herself, happy. She hasn't said anything to me, but a mother knows. She's very glad to see Mr. Fien every day. She just doesn't dare come out and speak to him because she knows her situation." Master Luong asked, "No more rashes? No more long hairs appearing on the body?" "No. As I told you yesterday, her spine still aches a little. Everything else is normal." Master Luong thought for a moment and then said, "Does not surprise him. The curse has not been broken at its root, only suppressed. One purification ceremony has done more than I expected. She still has time. While I'm here, I'll continue searching through what I know, looking for a way to address what remains. If anything happens, come to me." Ms. Hong thanked him. Mr. Mung joined them shortly after. He smiled. "Or you and your daughter could just stay here permanently. The house is big. 2 more people wouldn't be a problem." Ms. Hong shook her head. "My mother and I have already relied on your kindness far too heavily, and a widow with a young daughter living in the house of a widowed man. People would talk before long. Thank you, truly. Tomorrow morning, my daughter and I will go home, and I'll come back whenever I need Mr. Luong's help. Mr. Moon wanted to protest, but knew she was right. He accepted it reluctantly. With nothing left to arrange, Master Luong excused himself and went down to the firewood room. Tuak was already there, folding the blankets and laying them out, as he had done every evening since recovering, always preparing the bed for Master Luong before his own, a small gesture that said more than words. Master Luong sat and asked, "What are your plans going forward?" Tuok replied, "I don't know yet, but I thought I might stay here. I've already spoken to Mr. Mong, working as a helper in exchange for a place to sleep and eat. That would be enough." Master Luong smiled and shook his head. "If you think you owe me something, let that go. I didn't save you to gain a servant or collect a debt. You're still young. You've lost a great deal, but the ability to start again is still in you. Don't stay here for my sake." Tuak said, "I hope you'll allow me to stay, because I know that after you've finished here, you'll find a way to go back to that village. And if you do, please take me with you. I want to go back." Master Luong paused. "You want to go back to the place where you nearly died, where you saw things that no person should see? If I run from the fear forever, the fear will follow me forever." Kuong and Bin were right about one thing. I was too concerned with saving myself. I'm still afraid, but I have to face it. Master Luong said, "Your friends are most likely all dead. When someone is dead, you find the body. As far as I know, only Tui and Kam are confirmed. Benny and Kuong may still be alive somewhere in that village. If they are, I'm going back to bring them out. And there is another reason. You told me yourself that the girl whose soul is in this necklace has an unfinished wish. If you've already promised to help her spirit find peace, please let me come with you. I owe her my life." Master Luong looked at Tuak for a long moment. This was not an impulsive request. Tuak had spent days turning it over. Master Luong said, "If that is your decision, then so be it. I need a guide anyway. As for everything here, it needs to be resolved first. Little Hien must be helped. After that, we go. Whatever lies on that road, we face it." Tuak bowed his head in gratitude. A quiet knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. "Master Luong, are you still awake?" Tuak opened it. Mr. Mung stood outside, glancing around. "Is Fen here by any chance?" Tuak shook his head. "I haven't seen him since dinner." Mr. Mung scratched his temple. "That's odd. I thought he might have come down here. He's not in his room. He's not in the shop." His face disappeared the moment we finished in the kitchen. Off somewhere again, without saying a word. "Well, you two rest. I'll check again in a while." The door closed. Tuak said, "Those two are like a comedy duo, but they are both kind to the core. It was their kindness that kept me alive. I wonder where Fen went at this hour." Master Luong smiled. "When fate comes for you, it finds you wherever you are." Ha ha ha. 8 o'clock. At the place the locals called Starlight Hill. The slope was gentle and wide, the grass soft and short, the hill open to the sky on all sides. A cool breeze moved through it steadily, carrying the smell of earth and night flowers. Hien walked ahead a few steps and turned slowly, taking in everything at once. So beautiful. I had no idea a place like this existed, And someone said it was the most beautiful spot here. Fan turned sharply. When did I say that? Ian caught herself and stammered, Oh, I heard someone say it. Someone here. Haha, thank you for bringing me. They walked a while longer. Fan studied her from the corner of his eye, the way she moved and the way she looked at the sky. He was afraid, in a low-grade, persistent way, that she would break her promise and tell someone about what he'd done last night. She hadn't. He didn't understand why she'd been kind to him after that, but he wasn't going to argue with kindness. Hyan turned to him, moonlight making her face something from a poem. She asked, Why do they call it Starlight Hill? Fan said, Everyone thinks it's because you can see more stars from here, standing on higher ground. But that's not why. He broke a small branch from a bush nearby and gently took Hyan's hand, leading her a step forward, then swinging the branch down close to the grass. Let's fly. From the soft earth beneath the grass, dozens of small lights lifted, flickering, drifting upward like sparks that have forgotten to go out. Fireflies, scores of them, woken by the sweep of the branch, now rising and spreading through the air around them, their cold lights blinking on and off with no fixed rhythm. Hyan reached out and let one land on her finger, not breathing. I didn't think I would ever see something this beautiful before I died, especially with... She stopped. Her sentence ended where she wouldn't let it go. Van heard it. He felt the sadness in it. He didn't know about the curse, only that she was ill, that her life was in danger, that Master Luong was working to help her. Seeing her cry while smiling, saying words like those, something moved in him that had nothing to do with what he felt watching her last night. Don't think I like that. Master Luong is a good man. I've seen him save someone's life. He'll help you. Ian wiped her eyes and laughed softly. You're worried about me. Van looked away. I want you to feel better. And last night was completely unforgivable of me. I know that. Ian said, I already told you. If it's you, it's all right. Because I like you. She closed her eyes when she said it, the way a person does when they've decided to step off a ledge and have no more use for looking. I'm serious. From the first time I saw you at my mother's house, I felt it. I don't know why. I've never felt anything like this before, but I always find myself thinking of you. I like you, Mr. Finn. Finn stood completely still. A beautiful girl in a beautiful place was confessing her feelings to him because he had been a voyeur, and somehow, from there the story had arrived here. He had thought about her all night. He had thought about her all day. He thought about her during dinner, while watching the door she never came through. His heart was already lost. He was only now being asked to admit it. He said, after a long moment, I also like you. Then, afraid she'd think he was saying it to be polite. I mean it. Maybe you won't believe this, but every time I see you, I have the feeling that I've known you from somewhere before. I can't explain it. I can't even remember where, but the feeling is real. Ian pressed her hand over her mouth. A quiet laugh. Ah ha ha. Van winced. Did I say something stupid? She rested her head gently on his shoulder. No, I believe you. I'm happy. So happy that you feel the same. He looked down at her, her eyes soft, her cheeks flushed, her lips slightly parted, her breathing faster than it had been a minute ago. He leaned down slowly. Their lips met. Both of them were a little uncertain, a little shaken. in the way of people doing something for the first time that they're sure they want. And then Finn was 20 years old, and she was beautiful, and the night was everything it was. Grass, and moonlight, and fireflies, and the smell of wildflowers. And reason is always the first casualty of that particular battlefield. Hyen, for her part, did not pull away. She had said what she meant. If it was him, it was all right. She had at most a year. She wanted, before that year ended, to do what she wanted with the person she loved. I love you too. At 11 o'clock, Mr. Mong was still awake, sitting at the table with his tea and his cigarette, watching the front door he had left open for his son. Miss Hong appeared from the corridor, saw the light, and came out to sit with him. Am I keeping you up? He asked quietly. No, she said. I couldn't sleep. There's something I wanted to tell you. Mr. Mong waited. Are you waiting for Fen? I am. He went out without a word and hasn't come back. I see. Then, before she could say what she had come to say, footsteps came up the front path. Fen ducked inside, and the moment he saw the lamp still burning, he knew Mr. Mong had been waiting. He came forward. Dad, I'm home. Mr. Mong rose from his chair, his face already twisting toward a scolding, and then stopped. His mouth stayed open. Behind Fen, stepping through the door, was Hien. Mr. Mong looked at one and then the other. Why did you two come home together? What is this? Fen stood straight. He held Hien's hand. He looked at his father and said, without flinching, Dad, I want to marry Hien. Fen broke a small branch from a nearby bush, gently took Hien's hand and led her one step forward, then swept the branch down close to the grass. Let's fly. From the soft earth beneath the grass, dozens of small lights lifted, flickering, drifting upward like sparks that had forgotten to go out. Fireflies, scores of them, woken by the sweep of the branch, rising and spreading through the air around them, their cold lights blinking on and off with no fixed rhythm. Hien reached out and let one land on her finger, barely breathing. It's so beautiful. I didn't think I would ever see something like this before I die, especially with... She hesitated and stopped without finishing. Fen heard it. He felt the sadness in it. He didn't know about the curse, only that she was ill, that Master Luong was working to help her. Seeing her cry while smiling, saying words like those, something moved in him that had nothing to do with desire. Don't think like that. Master Luong is a good man. I've seen him save someone's life with my own eyes. He will help you. He wiped her eyes and laughed softly. You're worried about me. Fen looked away. I want you to feel better. And last night was completely unforgivable of me. I know that. Hien said, I already told you. If it's you, it's all right. Because I like you. She closed her eyes when she said it, the way a person does when they've decided to step off a ledge and have no more use for looking. I'm serious. From the first time I saw you at my mother's house, I felt it. I've never felt anything like this before, but I always find myself thinking of you. I like you, Mr. Fen. Fen stood completely still. A beautiful girl in a beautiful place was confessing her feelings to him, and he had thought about her all night, all day, all through dinner, while watching the door she never came through. His heart was already lost. He was only now being asked to admit it. After a long moment, he said, I also like you. Then, I'm afraid she'd think he was only being polite. I mean it. Maybe you won't believe this, but every time I see you, I have a feeling I've known you from somewhere before. I can't explain it. I can't even remember where, but the feeling is real. Hyun pressed her hand over her mouth. A quiet laugh. Ha ha ha. Finn winced. Did I say something stupid? She rested her head gently on his shoulder. No, I believe what you said is true. I'm very happy, so happy that you feel the same. He looked down at her, her eyes soft, her cheeks flushed, her lips slightly parted, her breathing faster than it had been a moment ago. He leaned down slowly. Their lips met, both of them a little uncertain, a little shaken, in the way of people doing something for the first time that they are sure they want. And then Fen was 20 years old, and she was beautiful, and the night was everything it was. Soft grass, moonlight, fireflies, the smell of wildflowers, and reason is always the first casualty of that particular battlefield. Hyun, for her part, did not pull away. She had said what she meant. If it was him, it was all right. She had, at most, a year left. She wanted, before that year ended, to do what she wanted with the person she loved. Taking off Hyun's clothes, Fen, for the second time, was able to see her fully. The girl of that full moon age, under the open sky. Moonlight made everything more beautiful than it already was. Hyun raised her hands to cover her face in embarrassment, but she did not push him away. In an instant, Fen's reason surfaced again, and he pulled back, thinking she was crying. He grabbed his shirt and moved to cover her, turning away. I'm sorry. I couldn't control myself. I'm so sorry. And then he felt her arms come around him from behind, and her voice, sweet, gentle, quiet and certain. I told you, if it's you, it's all right. I don't have more than a year to live. If during that time I can do what I want, and more than anything, be with the person I love, then even if tomorrow is my last day, I will not regret it. I love you, Mr. Finn. I love you. I love you too. At 11 o'clock, Mr. Monk was still awake at the table with his tea and his cigarette, watching the front door he had left open for his son. Miss Hong appeared from the corridor, saw the lamp still burning, and came to sit with him. Am I keeping you up? He asked quietly. No, she said. I couldn't sleep. There's something I wanted to tell you. Are you waiting for Fen? I am. He went out without a word and hasn't come back. I'm sure it's nothing strange, but a parent can't sleep until they see their child safely home. Miss Hong was about to say what she'd come to say when footsteps came up the front path. Finn ducked inside, and the moment he saw the lamp still burning, he knew Mr. Moon had been waiting. He came forward. Dad, I'm home. Mr. Moon rose from his chair, his face already twisting toward the scolding, and then he froze. His eyes opened wide. He rubbed them once, then again. Behind Finn, stepping through the door, was Hyun. Mr. Moon looked at one, and then the other. Why did you two come home together? What is this? Finn stood straight. He held Hyun's hand. He looked at his father without flinching, and said something that left Mr. Moon completely speechless. Dad, I want to marry Hyun.